We were asked to talk about opportunities here in Saskatchewan. We think it's part of our job description and duty to say, you know what, it's not all glory. There's a lot of difficult turmoil that exists out there too. So we're going to present a wholesale picture to you here too, or a complete picture. And the easiest and most direct way we thought we could communicate that to you is through a SWOT analysis, or strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis.
So I'll talk about the first two, strengths and weaknesses. Now I'm not going to go through the whole list, I'll just highlight a few of the points. First, our infrastructure. Saskatchewan went, and I know all of you know this, the trip from Regina to Saskatoon. But Saskatchewan went from having one of the worst roadway infrastructures in Canada, one of the best. On top of that, there's another infrastructure you might not know about, but it's certainly important to us, and I'm talking about the internet. The internet has a massive backbone, like a huge pipe that goes across North America. And guess where? There's only 3 locations in all of Canada where that pipe goes through, and where one of them is? Saskatchewan. It's in Regina. That's massive for an internet company like us. Silicon Valley, Silicon Prairie, I don't know. Very highly educated. Listen to this statistic. 55% of the labor force has post-secondary education. And of the remaining 45%, most of them are working while they go through school. So we've got tremendous experience. Let's keep that education here. Of course, we've got to mention the next point, just a second from the bottom there, largely union. Saskatchewan was based. Unions built Saskatchewan, established a middle class, provided stability, safety, and solid incomes for people. I know I come from a middle class family. I wouldn't have had the opportunity if not for the class that the unions had established. And lastly, and you're going to notice this next point, it's actually a strength and a weakness. Don't shoot me here, hear me out. We're largely volunteer-based, which is fantastic. People working together simply for the good of helping other people. Come on, that's Saskatchewan, that's beautiful. But there's a bit of a problem. That's where comes the weakness. When everybody is volunteering, nobody is making money. Think about that. It's going to sound extreme. Hear me out. Take, for example, a big concert comes. Now, we could have a huge events and promotion company in Saskatchewan who could win a bid for the concert. And then comes this volunteer group. They're going to run the whole thing. We've now lost jobs, and people have to go elsewhere. I'm saying it's not volunteering is bad. I'm saying we need to have a healthy balance. Something to consider. Another one of our weaknesses, regulation. Largely regulated. One of the things I just mentioned, the infrastructure. That internet backbone that I mentioned is so regulated, we can't get access to it. And we're an internet company. We have to go through hoops and jump through just crazy hoops that we can't get it. And to do it, it's going to cost us a lot of money, which is a big factor for us. And another thing that's regulated happened to us with our Dragon boat. I said it took 8 months to get insurance, equipment, all that. I would say about 80% of that time was just going through regulations at the municipal and provincial level of governments. Talk about, and I'll hand over to Brad for the opportunities and threats, is the perception. The perception that we have in Saskatchewan is killing us. You're too young. We just lost an estimate on a website because we're too young. We didn't quite have the life experience required for the job. That doesn't mean anything. We lose countless RFPs from government because of the fact of our age. We provide the exact same service. I'm not trying to brag. We try the exact same service at our price, but because of our age, we're significantly pigeonholed. Another thing, this is my favorite, because this is why I'm standing here right now. People will say to you, don't do that. In my university administration class on entrepreneurship, we had to write a business plan for starting a company. And the first thing that the teacher said, whatever you do, don't do a technology company. I love that. Someone actually did a technology company before I was born. I wish he was here to see that. On to opportunities and threats.
All right, so well, Scott highlighted a lot of strengths and weaknesses of the Saskatchewan market. I'm going to talk about opportunities and threats. And some of these things you might notice are drawn from strengths and weaknesses, okay? And again, I'm not going to go into everything just because of time limits. So I'm going to highlight the threat first and finish lastly with the opportunities. Because ultimately, anytime you see a threat, that's an opportunity in waiting. It just needs a better solution. And that's an opportunity for an entrepreneur to be successful. All right, so the first thing is that the cost of infrastructure. Although we have this incredible infrastructure and it's very efficient and works really well, unfortunately there's a large tax burden because of it. And that's because the population of Saskatchewan is smaller, right? I mean, there's more people in Calgary City now than there is in the province, right? So it's unfortunate that it does cost a lot of money to develop this stuff. And that's changing because that's starting to come back around. We're on the upswing now, and I'm sure it's going to be for a long time. Also, I'd like to highlight that although the unions have given us structure and security in the long haul, they also do devalue companies and private businesses. I'm not here to say one way or the other as to which way to go. That's what happens, okay? Lastly, culture. We talked about this, and a lot of people actually highlighted it in the breakout session that I had a chance to be resource person at for making it happen. Many people said, you know what, I've heard from so many people that when I have an idea, it maybe can't be done. Well, I'm scared to do it because it might fail. This sort of mentality really puts limits on people because immediately when you come up with a great idea or an opportunity that you can see something fit, the first thing that runs through your mind is, well, it might not work. Is that what we want to go through our heads? Is that what we want to pass on to kids and future generations? Is that, well, you know what? You might not want to take that chance because it might not work. Well, I kind of, whether or not I should get into business, I woke up one morning and I thought, you know what? I might not get out of bed today because it might open the door and a bus might hit me. There's an equal opportunity for that. And there's an equal opportunity for success as there is for failure. And I think that we as people in this province deal with that identity is to say, can we do this? Can we pull it off? The answer is yes. Anything is possible with the right amount of application. Okay? So talking about opportunities now. There's a huge amount of natural resources in the province. And all the integrations and refinements that can be done with that equal jobs in a big way. It's sure to come in the near future with all the mining and things that are being developed at this time. Politicians are readily accessible, largely regulated, and based on our experience with working with Sask, we're more than lucky that anytime we need help to contact the mayor or the premier, in fact, the finance minister, they've been more than willing and open to hearing our ideas. And today's symposium conference is proof of that, because this is the first time ever where governments, let's hear what people and the youth have to say. Lastly, underdeveloped topography. There are many things in this province that people take for granted as, well, that's not interesting, that's not cool, there's nothing to see here. My own personal experience, I used to work at a call center and talk to a guy from Texas. He asked me where I was from. I said Saskatchewan. He goes, that's the best place on the planet. And I was kind of shocked. Most people go, oh yeah, you're from that, you know. But he was ecstatic because he comes up every year to do a whole pile of hunting and fishing in northern Saskatchewan and absolutely loves it. We ourselves started a tour company on North America's largest urban park and lake. Nobody else was doing it. In fact, most people, if you see you in Wascana Park, they go for a walk around, you can run around it, there's some neat park to see there or whatever. Totally undercapitalized. So there's a lot of these things available in Saskatchewan that people aren't taking advantage of at this point. So now that we've outlined everything, today is definitely the start of a positive change to some of those threats, and the biggest one being, in our opinion, the culture. Because it was a chance for people to get talking. And that anything that comes out of today, regardless of any recommendations that are put forward, put into action or not, that if nothing else, we started the dialogue, and that is a huge step to the success and development of the solution of any problem.